were being raised in this life because they told us we was black when we really the Israelites. And I don't wanna be no plug, that's all they talking about. I don't wanna be no thug, that's all they talking about. I don't wanna be no hitter, that's all they talking about.
The book of Psalms, chapter 40, verse 8. I delight to do thy will.
This is David, man. He said he delights to do thy will. That's what we should delight in, man. We should delight to doing Yahweh's will. Read.
Oh my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
By keeping God's law, that's Yahweh's will, man. So the Most High don't answer sinners, don't hear sinners. Only those that keeps God's will, man. Right.
Brother wants to know his biblical nationality. What is it? Pakistan. Huh? Pakistan? Oh, you're Pakistani. Pakistani? Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, okay. Do you know you guys descend from the ancients?
No, really.
You ever heard of Elam? Elamites? Around, it's a long time ago, before the Persians and everything. Oh, do you believe the Bible? Do you believe in any scripture? Are you Muslim? Yeah. Oh, okay. You got your Quran on you?
No, don't really practice.
You know Arabic?
Yeah,
Okay, I got a question for you. Give me Surah 6. Give me Surah 6. This is the Surah of Yosef, alright? You familiar with that Surah? Huh? So this is, give me Surah 6. No, Salakia, Surah 12. Surah 12. Start at 4. Bro, you just like interrupting. So this is Surah 6, and this is Surah 12. Rude as hell, bro.
Why are you doing that?
So rude, bro.
Why are you doing this?
You can't really rude, bro. So this is Surah 12 to 4. So this is Joseph, right?
This is a citizen. Why are you talking to him? We try to talk to him. Did you mind me talking?
Surah 12. Surah 12.
Being rude. Being rude.
Start at Surah 12 and Ayah 4. Read.
Surah 12 and 4. When Joseph said to his father, "Oh my father, I saw 11 planets and the sun and the moon."
You're familiar with the surah, right? Okay, when Joseph had the dream and he went to Yaakov and he told him his dream, read.
I saw them bowing down to him. He said,
Look at his face, man.
Sirach 11:8. Answer not before thou hast heard thy cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk.
You say you believe in the Bible, man. You say you believe in the Bible. Read that again.
Sirach 11:8. Answer not before thou hast heard thy cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk.
That's exactly what you did, man.
What if I said I was God?
I believe that. I believe it. If all the children of God are gods, man.
Why as men do you just come to me and say, I cannot interrupt you, you're talking to me, I'm a God?
Listen, that's not what it's talking about. That's weak as hell. That's a weak ass argument. That's right. That's a weak ass argument. Go to Psalms.
Who in the Bible said you're a God?
Go to Psalms.
Who in the Bible said you're a God?
The Most High God.
Then why do you say you're not
also,
God?
but watch this.
But
watch this. You know what I need?
Speaking your respect.
You know what I need?
Why do you say you're not God? This is why these white people are the devil. They think they are gods. They think they are gods. I just let you know you're a God again. You abuse me again.
Nobody did that.
You said in the midst of their talk. You think you have the right
You
to
interrupted our speech, bro.
Bro, that nigga left because you're sounding stupid.
No, because you interrupted our speech.
That's right.
But let's go back to who's being God's and what? Read.
Psalms 82:6.
Uh-huh.
I have said, ye are God.
God says that we are God's, but what?
Who said that?
And
will
all
die
of
like
you
what?
And all of you,
are children of the Most
will
High.
because we are children of the Most High, we are
die like
God's.
what?
But keep reading.
And will die
But
like
ye
what?
shall die like
But we
men.
shall die like
If you have the
men.
right
But
translation,
we are
like
God's,
men.
but we shall die like men. Right?
Who do you think
So
is
right
God,
now,
though?
the other verse said, do not interrupt man's speech.
Right.
You're cut, man.
You are only a man.
You're cut.
Not a God. You're fucking cut. You're on mission right now. You're
cut,
on my
man.
block. So if you niggas come and press you, I've been here for years. I've been here for years. If you niggas come and press you, do not be mad.
You're cut.
All right, I'll be with y'all.
We be out here every year, every week, man. What are you talking about? Where they at? Where they at? Where they at?
Who's the superior?
I'm the superior.
No, who's your superior?
I'm the superior. He's not here.
Is he a grown man that's 40, 50? You are all young. How old are you?
We're all young. We're
How
all
old are
young.
you?
We're all young.
How old are you? How
It
your
doesn't
age?
matter. It doesn't
How
matter.
your age?
I thought
You
we were gonna get
respect your
pressed.
elders.
Who's gonna press us?
You're all these people.
Who's gonna press us?
Did you guys?
Who's gonna
Did
press
you
us?
guys do this
Nobody.
when all those
And
Mexicans
nobody's
were
gonna press
saying?
us here. We've been up here for 4 or 5 years.
No,
Nobody's gonna press us.
all those Mexicans were saying, you cursing God, be quiet. You cursing God, be quiet. You have to
How?
press me?
How?
So don't touch me again.
Why are you trying to threaten us?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Why
Don't
are
touch
you
me
threatening
again.
us?
I said don't touch me.
Why are you threatening us? Why are you threatening
Keep
us?
with that.
Why are you threatening us? Right. Nobody worry about that. You've been standing for the last 2 hours.
We are all the children of God, but we shall die like men. But the other verse says, do not interrupt men in your speech. Goofy as hell, man. And this is the madness, right? All this happened because we fell from our wisdom, man. Right?
You know how we try to put these and give it to our people, and it was really thanks to the disciples, but some people
Like all you're doing is pleading your case to everybody up here, man. That's all you've been doing. You've been pleading your case to everybody up here.
What case?
You've been pleading your case to
What
everybody
case?
up here.
What case is
All
about
the-
God?
all the-
no
look,
case.
all the-
it's about God.
all the
You're here
garbage
for
that you've
God.
been speaking
You're here
up
for
here.
God.
All the
You're here
garbage
for
that
God,
you've been
white
speaking up
man.
here.
You're
It's been
Spaniard.
garbage,
You're here for
man.
God,
It's
white
been
man.
garbage.
You're Spaniard.
Oh.
You're here for God, white man.
Listen,
You're
man, you
Spaniard.
can say that all you want, man. You can say that all you
You're
want,
hurt now.
but can
You
you
are
prove you're an
defiled by
Israelite?
Satan.
Can
You
you
don't
prove
want
you're an
to
Israelite?
admit.
Prove you're an
1
Israelite.
through 8.
Prove you're an
1
Israelite,
through
man.
8. Prove 1 through 8.
You're an Israelite.
You just stand off from the tower of Judah.
Prove you're an Israelite.
You're standing on your
So I can
sign.
prove it?
You're standing on your sign. You don't believe in this. You stand on my ancestors. You light-skinned bitch.
This is your ancestors. This is your ancestors right here.
This is the sign. Don't
This
stand
is
on
your
it.
ancestors, right?
On the reflector.
This is your ancestors, right?
What did I say? Bilal, right? Guilt. Where's your guilt?
Right
Look
here,
at
right?
him. Look at him. Look at him.
Anyways, you've been up here for hours pleading your case to everybody.
What case? What is the case?
You've been confounded
What is the
over
case?
and over up here.
What is the case?
Then you run up to every single brother up here pleading your case.
Can I run up to
Interrupting
you?
everybody's
What does
speech
that
up
mean?
here, man.
What does that
Right.
mean? I run up to you?
And then also, then you're talking about Rastafari, which is madness, man.
Right,
right.
Respect my religion. And you
Which
will
is
go down our
madness.
statue
Which
so
is
loud.
not of the
Now
Bible.
demon
The
time.
Rastafari is not of the Bible.
Fuck you.
Right.
We take your soul out of your face for
Rastafari is not of the
virgin.
Bible.
Go ahead, look.
That
Stop playing with
goddamn.
it. Is it real? Is it real?
Goddamn, what the? Haile Selassie is a goddamn heathen too, man. And when he needed help, he ran up to that whore in England, asked for help, crawling and shouting her out, "Mommy, white man, help me." That's exactly what he did, man.
That's right.
Goddamn Haile Selassie.
Right.
Goddamn Rastafari.
That's right.
Smoke out. Leave me on.
Look at him, man. Look. He's want somebody to
Who
hear
you
his
trying to talk to
nonsense,
now?
right?
We are not the synagogue of Satan. He knows. I'm not no synagogue of Satan. We had to fucking prove that before. We did it. We know. We've given to the anointed, not to everyone. I tried to put you on.
Now give me verse 8.
Deuteronomy 4:8. And what nation is there so great that
Last
has,
one, yeah.
that has statutes
Which is a
and
weak
judgments?
What nation?
Jay
What?
doing this.
That's brother that was here a couple weeks
This
ago.
is all not
I remember
fucking wannabe street shit that's
Yeah,
not
you
street
can't,
shit.
remember?
They already tried to do this. You gotta get cheated, so you try to act righteous and do this. But you trying to act like thugs. Everybody's walking by saying they're prison thugs. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I will help you. I will help you. I know
And
you.
what nation is there so
They know
great
you. I do this all the
that
time.
has statutes and judgments so righteous?
So what nation shall be so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous? Right? Because these laws, statutes, and commandments given to the children of Israel came
It's
from the
the same
Most
brother
High
from
God.
last time, remember? He don't believe in belief pretty much. He's
I don't believe anything, brother. If you look at the definition of belief is acceptance, brother, without proof.
We have
When you
to
know
believe
when you
that.
prove something, you know it.
Exactly.
Nobody never says I believe for a fact.
No sweat. No
Says
sweat.
I know for a fact.
I get what you're saying.
But remember what you said last time?
It's by definition.
Brother,
It's not my word.
No sweat.
It's not my word.
But
I
here's the
looked
thing.
up the definition.
No
brother.
sweat.
Here's the
I
thing.
believe you.
No.
I believe
No.
you. I believe
No.
you.
You accept it.
No, I
You don't
believe
know
it.
it.
I believe you, man.
You believe it, but you don't have no proof.
Okay, I believe what you're saying. I believe that you believe.
No, I don't believe
You got a problem with
nothing.
everybody.
I don't
Stop,
believe
bro.
nothing.
Stop.
I don't believe
You're doing too
nothing.
much.
I accept. I know.
You've been doing this all
I know.
night.
I know. Look, I
It's not
know.
even night yet. You already got your story together. So
I know
stop.
it's
Stop running up on
irrefutable,
people.
unequivocal
Rest of
facts,
the
bro. You feel what I'm saying?
Great.
I don't accept
Hey, you
anything.
doing too much, bro.
I question everything.
Let me ask you a question
I
though.
question everything.
Great.
You feel me?
Let me-
I don't know.
Let me. You said something last time you just said. You said the Earth is how many years old?
No, I didn't say nothing about
Yes,
how
you
old
did.
the earth was. I said how old human life is.
How old is that? How old is that?
How old is human life?
Yeah.
Well, according to my research, it's about 3.2 million years old. You feel me? So far,
okay.
according to the research that is available to us thus far.
And how do you? What proof do they present you to believe to know that? What proof do they present that you researched to know that? Science. What type of science? Anthropology. What's the science? How do you prove how old something is?
The dating process.
Yeah, the dating methodology. How do you prove how? If I dig up a bone, how do I know how old it is?
Well, I'm not an archaeology. I mean,
Oh, but you know.
archaeology.
But you know.
But you believe what somebody else is, right?
Nah.
You believe it. But then you believe it.
He's scared.
Research something.
Let me cut you off. You feel me? You know when you have a newborn baby, right? You feel me? And that newborn baby parents, you feel me? And arguing, what does that baby do? That baby cries. You feel me? Because there's something that the creator has, you feel me, embedded in them, you feel me, to know that, you feel me, the difference
Something's
between-
off or
something's off. Yeah, like the energy, you feel me? They don't know who's right in the argument, but they know that, you feel me, something is off about mama and daddy argument. You feel me? So when I look at my information and research, you feel me? I look at the science, and then I tune into the creator's resource that's embedded in me to know.
It makes you feel, right?
Yeah. To know what's right or you feel me or wrong. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, but you have to have a data.
That's very interesting.
Control.
Very
Because, so, like in science, you have to have a control, which is a data, which is 0 point, which is a 0 point, right? So if you have to know exactly what the 0 point is, where you know 1 to 2, right? When it's right and wrong. So you have to know exactly what is right at the beginning, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you get presented by these so-called scientists information that life is something 2 billion, what is the dating process that they use?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like I question.
So you don't know, right?
I question.
You don't know, right?
You don't know.
Look,
You
I
don't
question
know.
everything, bro.
That's not the point.
I question
I'm only
everything.
addressing the one thing you said from last time.
Oh, yeah, for
Because
sure.
we don't. That can't be proven. What you said can't be proven. Because
do you know it
it's
can't
called.
be
It's
proven,
called.
brother?
What's that?
How do you know it can't be proven?
Because the science doesn't prove it.
But how do you know that, bro?
But you don't know the methodology, right?
You made a claim.
Sir, you
How
don't
can
know.
prove
You don't
your
know the
claim?
methodology they use, right
No,
or
but
wrong.
I'm saying, how can you prove
I'm
your
approving
claim?
it by what you just said. You don't know the methodology they use, right or wrong. You don't know how they got to that conclusion, right?
I mean, I read it, but I can't.
But you don't know what they.
I can't quote it to you verbatim.
Okay, you don't know, right?
I can't quote it to you.
But you don't know.
I can't quote it.
So you can't tell me what's right or wrong if you don't know, right?
I can't tell you what's right or wrong if I don't know.
Great,
Yes,
great,
that's
great.
correct.
So
That's correct.
we're here to tell you the methodology that they use can't. It's not empirical data. It can't be proven.
Okay, that's the claim that you. That's the claim that you're making. But what's the proof?
It's called.
That's the proof of your claim,
brother. It's called carbon dating.
Radiocarbon.
Carbon dating. Familiar with that? Is that what you looked up? Carbon dating. You know that works?
No, I don't know.
I got it. So radiocarbon dating, so the atom of carbon, right, breaks down every certain 50 years or so. So the amount of carbon found in certain bones, right, breaks down after it decays after a certain amount of time. But for you to understand and for you to know exactly how old something is, you will have to know how much carbon was present at the beginning of the earth, which is impossible, man. For you to know exactly how much carbon existed at the beginning of Earth, that's impossible. Because that's how exactly carbon dating is measured. Like every certain 50 years, the carbon atom decays. So they test the bones and test whatever they found, and they look how decayed that carbon atom is. Then they can make an estimate, supposedly. But you have to know how much carbon was present at the beginning of the Earth to have the exact number.
You're talking about as far as how old is human life on the planet?
Just whatever
anything that's being tested for carbon dating.
An artifact, a bone, a body, which comes from bones, obviously, an animal, whatever the case may be. It's impossible to know because you can't know how much carbon was in the earth at that time.
At the beginning, because carbon decays over time. So you will have to go back to point zero at the beginning of everything. You'll have to know how much carbon was present at that point to make your carbon dating on point. Like, it's impossible. It's pseudoscience, man.
And just to reiterate the point, the furthest, just in reference to our particular information, the oldest civilization, because people live in civilizations, right? They build things, huts or whatever, and they have artifacts, writing styles. The oldest that they can go back is only about 4,000 years. That's it. Brother, that's it, brother. You can't show me no civilizations before Sumer. You can't. Sumer in Egypt, you can't go before that. Is Egypt millions of years old? The same thing. Kemet, Egypt is the same thing.
Sumer predates Kemet.
Exactly, Sumer predates Kemet. That's what I said, Sumer.
Kemet is not Egypt is Greek.
We understand that's just a name.
Kemet is the name, but Egypt is a common name, though. But you know what I mean, though.
Egypt is a Greek name.
I agree.
Kemet is the indigenous name of that land.
Great, but either way, Sumer is before Kemet.
It predates that, regardless.
Sumer's
So
before
you're saying that's
Kemet.
4,000 years?
4,000 years, that's it.
Kemet is way older than that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
There's no information that's older than 4,000 years
I
old.
know that for a fact. Right?
Prove it. Show it up. Show me a civilization.
I know that for a fact.
Show me.
All you gotta do is watch Hidden Colors, bro. That's all you gotta do.
Hidden Colors.
Hidden Colors.
That's
all you gotta do.
pseudoscience.
Bro, that's all you gotta do.
That's-
So you
I don't-
familiar with Hidden Colors?
Huh?
Are you familiar with Hidden Colors?
With Tariq and
So it's roughly like
what's his name?
6,000.
What's his name?
Roughly around 6,000.
Yeah, 5 or 6,000. I'm talking about civilization.
Yeah,
stuff.
civilization was 6,000 Sumer.
Bro, nah, we've been having civilizations way longer than that, bro. Look at Dr. Ray Hagen's work, right? We've been having civilizations way longer than that, bro.
can't be
White
proven.
people have been existing for 6 to 10,000 years.
No, they
you
haven't.
can't find a white person
they
that
haven't.
hasn't existed prior to 6 to 10,000 years.
They haven't.
Yes, they have.
Where do white people originate?
Yes, they have.
Where do they originate from?
Huh?
Where do they originate from?
Caucasus Mountains.
Where's that at?
We don't even originate there.
Exactly. They don't. Africans is there first. They call this mountain.
No, I'm saying white people.
Exactly.
White
Those
people
are
originated
they're not
from there.
originally from the caves. They're not from there.
Where are they
They're from the Levant. Levant area. Africa, your Asia, that connection right there, you know what I'm talking about? The Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan area, that's where they're from.
Then they migrated
They
into
came
the
from us, right?
Pakistan.
White people came from us, right?
All life came from us.
Great.
All races came from
So
us.
they didn't start the Caucasus Mountains. They went there afterwards. But the point is, there's no proof of the civilization being older than 4,000 years old, 4,500 years old. It's impossible.
I encourage you to do some more
I've
research.
done the
know that for
research,
a
brother.
fact. I know that for a fact.
No, you don't.
I do.
You didn't know the dating methodology to prove that. It's impossible.
I know that for a fact,
No, you
brother.
don't.
Yes, I do.
You believe what somebody
I
said.
don't believe that,
Yes,
bro.
you do.
I don't believe
You said
that,
look
bro.
up Ray Hagen's work. I don't
look
care
up-
what he said.
Hey, look up,
What did he
look up-
present? What scientific fact did he
look
present?
up his work and you'll find out. I don't got time to go into
believe
that.
in him, then?
I don't
Exactly,
believe
he
in
believes
nothing.
In essence,
I don't
you
believe
He
in
watched
nothing.
Hidden Colors
I
and
don't
believe what they
believe in
said.
nothing.
You
I
believe
don't
exactly what they
believe in
said.
nothing. I verify shit. I verified.
You can verify how the
That's
database.
biased information.
I can't quote all that shit off the top of my head.
But then you said for sure.
But I verified
You
that.
said-
I verified that when I looked at the information. I mean, when I heard the information, I verified it, bro. I verify and validate everything I stand on, bro.
Listen.
You feel me? I can't quote it to you verbatim.
So
when
this-
I go to
so
my
this-
house, you feel me? I do my research. You feel me? When I go to the library and I look
you
at
live in
shit on
the
the
city?
computer, you feel me?
You live in the
know what I'm
city?
saying? I put it together. You feel me? Yeah, you feel me? I
We out
verify,
here every
validate.
Saturday. Come back next week with some information, and we can test it.
We can go back and forth. We can test it. We can test it.
I don't believe there's somebody on a Hidden Colors on video. That's not how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't understand if you went back behind them and researched it.
I don't believe nothing. That's why when I
I'm
looked
just
up,
saying- I'm
that's
just saying
why
in general.
that's why when I heard the information, I verified it and I validated it.
But you didn't go the opposite way. You didn't look up the opposite, did you?
I don't understand what you mean.
You looked up what they said. You didn't look up the opposite of what they said. That's what I mean. You just look up the information that people don't agree with. What they say. That's what I mean.
Counter thesis.
Yeah, the counter argument.
no.
That's what I mean. Because some people don't believe that. Everybody doesn't believe what they say. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
didn't
I can
believe
look up
what you
anybody.
said, brother.
What's that?
I didn't believe what you said. I verified.
But I'm saying that you didn't look at the counter argument for what they're talking about. That's what I mean. You looked at what they said. You didn't look at what people don't agree with what they said.
So give me an example of what you mean, bro. Like give me an
We
example.
believe in the Bible. You said Jesus didn't exist. We can go to the information that proves he exists. You don't believe he existed. So whatever information I pull up that says he existed, you can say you don't agree with it either way, but I'm pulling information to prove that he existed.
Just on the simple
But
fact
you're
that
gonna
you said, just on the simple fact that you said that you believe that he existed.
Listen, I'm talking about proof. I'm talking about the proof to prove that he existed. I can pull up information to prove he existed. You say he didn't exist. Who's right? Why? I prove information he existed.
Listen,
I can pull it up right now.
listen.
Who's right?
What is your information?
Who?
The Bible?
No, historians.
Outside.
I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about historians.
Secular historians.
People that don't even have anything to do with the Bible.
That lived
Historians.
at that time.
Y'all ever heard about the Council of Nicaea?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The
We
21
go
other
there
ecumenical
too.
councils, you feel me?
Yes.
Can you tell us what the Council of Nicaea was about? What was it about? What was it about?
It was Constantine. It was the Council of Nicaea 325 AD.
What were they arguing?
You let me speak?
All right, let's
Yeah. It was the Council of Nicaea 325 AD. You feel me? Which means Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord. You feel me? You know, and Emperor Constantine at the time. You feel me? He had convened his council for all the bishops. You feel me? In his empire, he had a vast empire. You know, you know, he was trying to figure out a way to keep control of his empire, and he knew he could keep control of his empire militarily. So he convened all the bishops together to try to figure out how to control the mental and the religion. So they was trying to come up with a religion for all the lands, because all the people in his empire, they spoke different languages and believed in different religions. So they was trying to come together and form one religion to control his empire. And then that's when they came up with Christianity. That's when they came up with Christianity. In the Council of Nicaea.
Christianity. I agree with that. But
Yeah.
What was it talking about?
And then with Jesus comes from Serapis. You feel me?
I mean, that's what they say.
Huh?
That's what Constantine did. He implemented everybody's religion into one. Because that's not in the Bible.
It's not.
Serapis is with Babylon, right? Babylon, right? That's what you're talking about, right? Serapis, Tammuz, all that. Well, you're talking about the Greek gods, the Egyptian gods.
Serapis is Greek god.
You're talking about the Greek gods, right?
yeah.
But it goes back before to Babylon. He drew, like he said, everybody saw different lands and different religions. He pulled from everybody's religion and created Christianity. But the Bible doesn't corroborate that. That's just a myth.
How old is the Bible?
100,000 years? Or excuse me, 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old.
1,000 years old, bro. Let me tell you
Hell,
something.
it's-
Let me
what
tell you
was it
something.
written?
Let me tell you something.
How old
The
is the Bible?
creator, 2,000 years old.
No,
The
it's
creator,
longer than that.
the creator is in control at all times, everywhere at the same time.
I agree.
So before the Bible was ever created, what governed it spiritually?
Everybody wasn't in the same spirituality at that time. Everybody wasn't in the same
But if the creator is
spirituality.
in control at all times,
Give me that. Give me
you
that
feel
I had
every
earlier.
time you gonna look up something from the Bible?
What's that?
You gonna look up something from the Bible? That's
No,
what you're telling me?
I mean, there's a verse in the Bible that's going to explain what you're talking about. Because what you said earlier, right?
Man, the Bible is plagiarized.
Sir, no, it's not.
The Bible is
From what?
plagiarized
From
off
what?
of Al-Babylonian spirituality.
From what?
From Al-Kabalonian spirituality principles, bruh. That's the indigenous name. That's the oldest indigenous name of what we know as Africa.
What part of Africa?
Huh?
You talking about Kenya?
I'm talking about the whole continent. The whole
continent believe the same thing.
Listen to me, brother. Listen to me. The whole continent of Africa's oldest indigenous recorded name is Al-Kabalon.
That's right.
You feel me? And what I'm saying is that the Bible is based off of Al-Kabalonian spiritual principles.
Give us one point.
You feel me?
Give us one point.
Hey, look. I'm in spiritual limbo, brother. So I'm still searching. Y'all may not be searching, but I'm still searching. You feel me? I'm still searching.
But you're telling us what our beliefs come from.
No, I'm not telling. No, listen. I don't got nothing to do with no beliefs, brother. I don't got nothing to do.
That's what you're telling us,
No, I'm not telling you that because I don't got nothing to do with no beliefs.
You're telling me that because that's what you thought. That's what you researched, right?
And
that's what you came to
No,
conclusion
I'm
was
not telling
right.
y'all. I'm not telling y'all nothing. If
But do you believe that's right?
If y'all want to believe whatever y'all want to believe, that's cool.
Sir.
You feel me? Beliefs don't got nothing to do with me.
Sir.
I'm in the knowing business.
Exactly.
I'm in the knowing business. I'm in the knowing business.
That's the proof that you came up
You
with.
talking about belief. That Bible, you feel me, is based off of belief. It's not based off of
You
knowing,
believe the information you looked at?
No, I don't believe
yes,
nothing,
you do.
bro.
Yes,
I don't
you do.
believe nothing.
You believe this
I
book
don't
was
believe
created off of
nothing.
whatever you just said.
I don't believe nothing.
And that's madness.
I don't believe nothing.
Did they speak Hebrew?
Huh?
The people you talking about spoke Hebrew?
People, who, the Al-Kabalonians?
Yeah, they speak Hebrew?
I don't know.
Because this Bible was written in Hebrew.
Sure.
If they didn't speak Hebrew,
Yeah,
then your
okay.
argument falls on its head. It doesn't make any sense. This was written in Hebrew.
Okay.
If those people that you're referencing didn't speak Hebrew, they didn't come from them. It doesn't make any sense.
Bro, that predates. Al-Kabalonians predates.
What language did they speak?
Huh?
What language did they speak? You don't know.
I don't know. But see, you know what?
And also
But see, you know what? But see, you know what? But see, you know
also
what?
about
Though,
the council on
that
Nicaea.
makes me intelligent. That makes me intelligent to be able to tell you the things that I don't know. Because if I don't know,
I can respect that. I can definitely
because
respect
if
that.
I don't know, you feel me? I know that you feel me. I can go look for the answer.
But
now,
you're
you
making
feel
a
me?
claim,
But if I'm
though.
telling you, like if I'm acting like I know everything, then that makes me look stupid.
But
feel me?
you're
That makes me
presenting
look stupid.
something to me and I'm questioning it and you don't have the answers. That means you didn't do all the proper research. And I can't, that means I can't believe what you said initially.
I don't want you to believe
To
what
make
I
that
said.
emphatic
I want you to
statement.
know.
Exactly.
I want you to know. You
But
feel what I'm
I'm
saying?
not gonna
But what
know
I'm
because you
saying,
can't explain it to me.
But what I'm saying is I'm in spiritual limbo, so I'm still searching.
So you don't hold to any book
No,
or any.
but what I know, but what I know is, what I know is that I know not to believe.
That's
feel me?
fine. That's
By
neither here nor
definition.
there. And we've
By
proven this as
definition.
well. We've proven this as well.
That's great, but for you to make that emphatic statement and say that this is plagiarized from whoever, you have to give us a point of what. Give us one point that was plagiarized in the Bible, and run it back to whoever you said that was plagiarized from. Give us one.
Yeah, make the parallels.
Give us one.
Make the distinctions and where it came from, what time table.
Give us one. Just one.
So all I can tell you is all that shit is based on
So you
allegory,
don't
bro.
know
All
then.
that shit is based on
No, it's not.
allegory.
Not all of
It's
it.
history.
Not all of it.
It's
Not
history.
all of it.
Well,
It's
you're right.
history.
You're right. Not all of it. Not all of it.
Uh-huh.
But you feel me? But you see, a lot of the important parts are based on allegory, bro. Because it's plagiarized from Al-Kabalonian spiritual
Not.
principles.
You can't prove that.
But
That's
you
the
can't
point.
prove
You
it.
can't prove
Can
it.
you prove that everything in this Bible is true?
Of course.
Yes.
How,
Right.
bruh?
Yes.
How?
Of course.
Yes.
Name a point. Well, ask me a question about it.
Where'd you get your information from, bro? Where'd you get your
History.
information from to prove it?
History. I asked you that last time. History proves something, right? Just like you say, you can dig up a bone that's 1,000,000 years old and say people lived 2 million years ago. That's madness. We just proved the science is not possible.
I can make that same claim, brother.
But you
I can
didn't.
make that same
But you
claim.
did. Make a claim.
I can make that
Everything
same
that you're
claim.
saying you can't prove.
I can make that same claim
Brother,
by
what's your name
history.
again?
My name is, you can just call me B, bro. Let me tell you
B,
something. You feel me? In what was it in 2014, 2015, you feel me? I went to you feel me? I did some prison time. You feel me? My mom, you feel me? She bought me a King James Version Bible. She bought me a chronological Bible in the way that in the order that the Bible was told in. You feel me? And she got me a Living Bible, and I got 2 Bible dictionaries as well, and daily breads for every quarter of every year. You feel me? So what I did was every day I would start off reading the chronological Bible. You feel me? And then whatever I would read in the chronological Bible, I would cross-reference that with the King James version and the Living Bible. And then I would, I would study, like whatever I read in the daily bread, I would study that as well. You feel me? Every night. And I'm talking about extensive study. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I read the whole Bible except for Proverbs. But I read the whole Bible. You feel me? And
but the daily bread is garbage. You know that, right? It's on. It's white man's sermon. I know what
that's
the daily.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You said, but be that as it may, you feel me? I had the King James version Bible, the chronological version of the Bible, New King James version, and I had the Living Bible. You dig what I'm saying? And when I read all that, you feel me? Like, I was still in spiritual limbo, and it happened. I'm gonna tell you this: I'm somebody that I was going to church ever since I was 28 days old. You feel me? I was going to the Apostolic Church. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I believe that Jesus died on the cross. You feel me? And He rose on the third day and ascended to heaven and all that. You get what I'm saying? You talking to somebody that did that. I went to church 28 days old. You feel me? And then when I went to prison, you feel me? I read all those Bibles, and I had a Bible dictionary, and every number that was, you feel me, at the end of the word, or a letter that was the end of the word, I would go to the Bible. Yeah, I would look into that. So
did you find flaws?
Huh?
Did you find flaws?
A lot of flaws. And then when I came into Dr. Ray Hagen's work, you feel me, and I started verifying and validating what he was talking about, everything he was saying added up, bro.
Can you give us a flaw?
Huh?
Can you give us a flaw?
Because you're reading the translation. That's another problem.
Exactly.
That's why I asked you about the Hebrew. The translation can say whatever it says. Like, the different translations can interpret it differently. But the Hebrew is what we go back to. We can read it in English all we want because we understand English. I'm not going to come up here and speak Hebrew to anybody. You're not going to understand me. But if there's an understanding that you don't have it, and actually just to comment on what you reference on how you read the Bible, you don't read the Bible that way. You don't read the Bible like it's a story tale, like a story. That's
No,
not how
I
it works.
studied the Bible.
But there's a way you study it too, though. You don't just read it. Okay, here. That's not how you do it, because the Bible actually it's a what's the word? It's an algorithm. You know what I mean? You can read a whole chapter, come back, read another chapter, or a different book, whatever it takes to be. It's not a problem, but it matches up and it answers itself. It's called like an algorithm. It's called
Hermeneutics.
Yeah, hermeneutics. Yeah, it's called hermeneutics. How you break the Bible down. But give me this first.
This is Isaiah 28:9. It says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?"
That's the point. Who's God going to give this knowledge to in the Bible? Who's going to be made to understand what's going on in the Bible?
Right.
That's what the prophet Isaiah was referencing. Whether you take it as fact or not, this is how you read the Bible. Read.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
Weaned from the milk, meaning what? The milk is what? The laws. That's how you start. That's how you get understanding of how God works. Through obedience, right?
And drawn from the breast, for precept must be upon precept.
Precept upon precept, meaning what? If I read a verse here, I can correlate with another verse in a whole different book, but it's talking about the same thing.
That's how I read the Bible when I was in prison, bro.
But here's the thing. Read that.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line,
Read.
here a little and there a little.
Here a little and there a little. Meaning what? I can read a little bit in Genesis, go to Jeremiah, and it'll break down what's happening in Genesis. That's an allegory in Genesis for sure. Genesis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to, I think, chapter 9. There's allegories because it's explaining the creation and everything that happened almost 1,000 years in only 7 chapters, 8 chapters. So it's a lot of information, even though it's centered around the Israelite heritage. It talks about different nations that were born, things like that. But the overall goal is if you didn't understand how to read the Bible, you never understand the Bible.
I was going to church since I was 28 days
But
old.
the church
I've
doesn't understand the
I've been reading the Bible ever since I was.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you went to church, they're not gonna even gonna read chapters of the Bible that we read.
They won't even go into prophecy.
Yeah, they're not
Well, what
gonna
I'm
prophecy.
saying-
They're just saying, "Oh,
this is
God
my-
loves everybody.
this is my point.
Give me your money, and that's it."
This is my point. That since I was raised in church, you feel me? When I really started to study the Bible when I was in prison, you feel me? I had a good idea at the time I was starting to you feel me, how to study the Bible. That's my.
That's through their lens, though.
That's my point. No, that's through my lens. That's the
No,
point.
but
that I'm making.
you had a presupposition to what you already learned
That
and
when
what
we
you
talk when we were little.
and you went in with that. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Like like you said, going to school, you learn, okay, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, and then you go to a different school, learn math, okay, I already know what I learned back 2, 4, 5 years ago, so you're going to start with that, but in the Bible, that's not how it works. That's not how it works in the Bible.
Brother, listen to what I'm saying, bro. The principles are fundamental for me. What I mean by that is,
I don't agree with that when it comes to the Bible.
principles are few and methods are many. You feel me? But what I mean by that is that the principle of the fact that you want me to believe something. You feel me? You want me to believe. You want me to believe, trust, and have faith in something. And all those words are interchangeable. All those words are very similar. You feel me? If you want me to do that, and you can't prove with irrefutable, unequivocal facts,
you haven't presented the question to me to answer. We asked you that 10 minutes ago.
That's what Hagen's, that's what you got from the old boy. What's his name? Hagen's? What's his name?
Jay Hagen or whatever?
No, Ray Hagen.
Ray Hagen.
Ray Hagen. Dr. Ray Hagen. Cool. You feel me? His work.
What's his specialty though? What does he like tap into? Like, what is he? Is he a historian or is he like a anthropologist? Because you mentioned anthropology earlier. I'm pretty sure he's not an anthropologist.
Nah, he's not an anthropologist. His profession, you know, the secular world is a psychologist. But
what is his main like? What do you study under him? Like, what is the topic of interest?
I mean, he's not a history. He's not a historian, but he talks about a lot of history, bro. You should look him up. You feel me? And look at opposing views. And, check in to see what he's talking about, to see if everything what he's saying is verified or validated. Because if he's wrong, y'all right. If he's wrong, y'all right.
So he basically doesn't hold to the Bible, or Islam, or whatever. What's that? I'm pretty sure. I mean, everybody, just black people in general. Oh, that's a white man's book. Like what? Like black people wrote this.
I mean, bro, the first slave ship was named Jesus, man.
But
the first slave ship was named Jesus.
I believe that. I believe that 100%.
Yeah,
Jesus is the thing. Jesus is the thing.
Yeah, you feel me? It's Yeshua. You feel me?
Yahweh
Shai. You feel me? Yeah, I know. I know. And that's another thing. You feel me? The word J was used in the 1500s.
Of course.
You feel me?
We know that for a fact. Of course.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
English. That's English.
So, yeah, you feel me?
That's a common name that we can tell anybody. Oh, that rings bells. You feel me?
So,
Go ahead.
So how would you counter whatever, just in the book of Daniel?
That's right.
You go to Daniel 7 or Daniel 9. These prophecies were given thousands and thousands of years ago.
Right. 2 to 3,000. 2 to 3,000.
It happened down to 200 to 3,000. But it happened exactly how it was written.
But my bigger question is, what governed this before the Bible was even invented, bro? What governed this? What governed this spiritually, bro? That's the thing about it. You gotta follow the timeline. You gotta follow the timeline. No, you follow the timeline from 2 to 3,000 years ago. You're not following the timeline from the beginning.
This is way before that.
We're referencing, bro.
Bro, pull up the Giza tablet. Pull that up real quick. It's an artifact.
Yeah, I got it.
It's for the Giza calendar, Giza tablet. You know what I want?
Yeah, I know.
Give me that. Let's see how old that is.
The Giza tablet.
And there's proof the Israelites were in Egypt too. So I mean, that was
Egypt?
Of course.
Greek?
Kemet. The Israelites were in Kemet. People that wrote this book were in Kemet.
The Giza tablet is a small limestone tablet with an early Canaanite inscription.
A what?
Canaanite inscription.
Canaanite inscription. What's a Canaanite inscription? That's where you get the Paleo-Hebrew from. It's Paleo-Hebrew and Canaanite inscription is the same language. It's the same
Discovered in 1908 by Irish archaeologist R.A. Stewart McAllister in the ancient city of Gezer, 20 miles west of Jerusalem. It is commonly dated to the 10th century.
What?
10th century.
What? 10th century what?
BC.
10th century BC. How old is that?
Hey.
What's the 10th century BC? You don't know how you calculate? We're in the year 2000.
I don't know how to calculate that, because at first, you feel me? Like, they say 2,000 years BC. People, like, I used to think that was before Christ. That's before the common era, you feel me?
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how tricky white people is, you know what I mean?
They tested it to
white
Christ,
supremacy is so deep, you feel me, that they try to change how we measure time.
That's true. It says that in the
feel
Bible
what I'm
too,
saying?
but the point is, 10th century BCE, like, we can't, like, honestly, like you said earlier, how you date things and things like that, we didn't make it up, but we still have to kind of go by their standard in a sense, because that's all we have.
Bro, you ain't gotta think black and die, bro.
Listen, I'm not black. We don't believe, nobody believes in that. Nobody's black up here. You're not black.
Yeah, I'm a black man. I'm a black king, by the way.
You're a king, but you're not black.
Yeah,
You're
I'm a
not
black
the same
king
color as
for
your
sure.
hood.
Yeah, I'm
You're
a black
brown.
king for
You're
sure.
brown.
Yeah, I'm a black king for sure.
I know you can claim that.
Yeah.
Nobody claims that.
It is that, brother.
You can believe that. You can believe that.
Nah, I know that.
Nah,
I know that.
you're
I
not
know
black,
that.
though. You're
I
not
know
black.
that. I know
Where
that.
do black people come from?
Huh?
What country do black people come from?
I'm a foundation of black American, brother.
Oh, Dr. Umar, you call Dr. Umar too?
Nah. You feel me? That's Tariq. That's how I'm
Oh, Tariq. Oh, you're indigenous to this land? You're indigenous to this
Oh,
land?
God.
Oh,
On the creator.
I don't believe that either. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Back
for
to my
sure.
point.
But I'm gonna see y'all later, bro. I gotta get something to eat, man. My feet tired. I just got my friend.
Hey, man, next week, brother. Come out here next week. He didn't know how to date anything. I said, what's 10th century BC? Don't even know. Like,
He contradicted
what are you
himself a
talking
couple of
about?
times, bro.
Madness. I cut his head off with that. He don't even know how to use the methodology. Long story short, like I said, 10th century BC is like 1000 BC. Before David, before Solomon. Well, actually, probably around the time of David. But even that, it's like over 3,000 years ago. So you mean to tell me that they didn't exist before that? Like, that's ridiculous. The Bible is only 2,000 years old. No, that's stupid.
Man.
That's stupidity. Right? Listen, he.
That's why I carried my shit around like this,
Huh?
bro. I'll never lose my goddamn phone,
Yeah.
The Africans, like how you said, they believed in many gods. The first commandment that is on the Ten Commandments is you only have one God. How did we get that from other people when?
I don't know. He doesn't know anything.
They don't believe it.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna bring that Hebrew to the West Africa next week. Should have brought it this week. I had to cut his head off too. Our people, like I said, it's been a bug out brigade up here, man. It's like a conveyor belt of nonsense. And that's what happens when you don't have a foundation. You get swayed by everything.
That's
Ray
right.
Hagen, like, what makes you think he knows everything? Who the hell is Ray Hagen?
Even him.
Bruh. He's not an anthropologist. He's not a historian. Which is what he said. Like, bro, why do you believe him? Because you do believe him. That's why he said. That's why I asked him. Did you research contrary to what he said?
Is he like the Afrocentrist or some shit?
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. Dr. Ray Hagen's Incredibility of the Bible, House of Nubian. He's definitely stupid. Nubians were around Canaan as well. And Nubian. So if he believes in Nubian.
So he was under that shit that what's his name was under polite.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
How are you doing? He was under that charming what's his name? The crowd.
Yeah.
Dr. York.
Yeah.